back.
It does. It does.
Feels good to be back.
Hey, ladies. Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Wealthysis podcast, where we talk about all things women's wealth related with a heavy emphasis on entrepreneurship, of course. I'm your host, the founder of the Wealthysis Network, Oriana. And today I'm joined by Merlyn Colbert, the Beauty Biz Bestee. You want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Oh, wow. Where do I start? So I've been in the beauty industry all my life. I was raised in a beauty salon. My mom has owned and operated her own shop for as long as I can remember, even before I was born.
Kudos to her.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I know. And I'm the fourth child. So she's been doing this with kids and all the things. She's been licensed since the 80s. So that's how I kind of got into the beauty industry. I was raised there and went to college, decided, no, I don't want to be like my mom, and then eventually came right back to it.
Okay.
So then eventually opened up my own beauty salon and spa with her.
Okay.
And that was back in 2019. Owned and operated that for 4 years. And
you was in it.
Yeah, I was in it.
You was in business owner.
I literally grew up in it and then went right back to it. Like after thinking I was going to do all the things, I went to corporate America. I gave that a try a little bit and that didn't work. Yeah. So I was like, I got to leave up out of here and do my own thing.
Okay, we got similar stories.
Yeah.
Very similar. Except I didn't try corporate.
So the and
I tried it on the other end.
I will say trying corporate first helped me learn a lot of discipline. Yeah. Like I learned a lot of that's when I really got systems and techniques and discipline on, just timely manner stuff. So I was like, I'll say that it gave me that before. The thing is, I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always knew I wanted to have my own business.
Sometimes it's just in you.
And I was like, I like being in corporate America was so cringe. Like I hated every day getting up, going, doing that, 9 to 5 clock in, having rules and like it was just too much. It was too much for me.
Man, so my taste of corporate America came later on when I was appointed the COO of the company Curbed. So that's a tech-based company out of New York.
Look at that.
So I started in business development with them, and then I was promoted into like working within the company.
Oh, that's dope. See, I didn't know. So you do have a taste of corporate America.
Man, but it was on the back end.
Okay, yeah.
And man, it whipped me into shape.
Yeah.
It whipped me into shape because it was the first time where I myself was the COO of a company that had 5 board members. Yeah, that's so like you're not just running your own company where like you call the shots. No, you gotta. Everything has to get approval from the founding members of the company, but then also you're also overseeing a team that's executing on the ground level. So like you're like doubling down on levels. And honestly, like you said, it was that discipline. It was that discipline, and I was like, dang, man, if I could rewind back time.
Like you can't just do what you want. Like get up.
But that helped me because then I could apply it to my business better because after working in that company for a couple of years, when I did pick up my company, because in doing that, I had to set my business down for some time. Yeah. I had to pick things back up, but I'm like, now I have a different mindset to go into it. Now I'm looking at it from a CEO mindset, whereas before I was just being an entrepreneur. It's a difference.
It is. And that's why I tell people, even now, like, so when I did the corporate America thing, decided to do my business. When I finally left, I didn't even wait for nothing. I quit cold turkey. Okay. I quit cold turkey and I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to do it my way, do it on my own. I still ended up back while I was building my shop. I ended up working at a salon and spa. Yeah. But I also realized exactly. I was like, I got my license, then I quit my job. But then I was like, okay, well, I need money to open this business, right? Yeah. So I was like, and I still got to pay bills. So I did end up going to work at a spa. It was actually an airport spa. Yeah. So that one was different than what you would, typically find on the outside, like a normal, like, shop. Okay. And that one was in the airport. And I just did basic, like, nails. It was like manicure, pedicure, gel, no acrylic.
People, like, on the move, like, between flights.
Yes, no acrylic, none of the fancy long stuff. It was quick. Dope. It was quick stuff. So that actually helped me get my my experience down pat. Yeah. Like just my skill.
Man, that's so important. People sleep on the experience. I just did that. I literally just did that.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh, and then I realized what it took to run a salon and spa, and I was like, all this inventory you have to keep track of, and managing just the back end side. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. But if I hadn't had that, I really wouldn't have got a good footing in starting my business. I always tell people, look, if you're really trying to do this for real, work for somebody else. Yeah, get the experience, get the training, get the skills.
It's so important
in that field so you can know what to expect.
Interning. People sleep on internships. It's like internships are so valuable. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And you never know what experience you can get from there. Yes. But girl, we just jumped into it.
I know.
We just jumped into it. We ain't even do the intro or nothing, but
I was like, this stuff is so exciting. It's so exciting.
We're gonna get into our icebreakers.
Let's get into it. Let's do it.
So if you had to choose a forever, no music or no snacks.
What? Okay.
I know that's a hard
one. Okay. No music, or I would have to say no music. That's tight. Snacks? I don't know about that because I love snack. I love to eat. I'm a foodie. Mm-hmm. I'm a foodie, so I can't just. What am I gonna eat? Like I'm always thinking about what I'm gonna eat, and I'm always snacking. Man, so no music.
No music.
That's tough though.
That's tough, but I'm gonna have to give up snacks.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to figure out something. I don't know. Like I'm gonna have to have a new snack.
Like, but you can't have a snack. That's the point. I get no snacks. But so what are you gonna do? Like just wait for dinner?
More food.
Wait for breakfast and like I can't wait.
That's a hard one.
Honestly.
Y'all tell us what you think.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't. If I didn't have snacks, I don't know what. Because sometimes I don't even eat, like, dinner for real.
It do be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't think I ate dinner last night. I think I had, like, 3 bags of chips.
That's tight. That's what I was like. That's a tight one. I don't know.
Okay. So, now, one of the questions I always ask my guests are, what does wealth mean to you?
Ooh.
It's different for everybody.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And it's no right or wrong answer, to be honest.
Honestly, I'm going to say legacy. Like what you leave behind.
Yep.
Because honestly, it's not money. It's not the stuff. It's your legacy. It's what you leave behind. That's
your footprint.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what wealth is to me because it's not none of the materialistic things.
Yeah,
right?
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I think that's a legacy.
I think that that's what I feel like I do it for. I feel like at the end of the day, it's legacy. It's like, what am I gonna leave behind? Like, this is what I'm doing now, but like when I'm gone, like what are people gonna remember? Like, what imprint have you made on other people's lives?
Impact on community, impact on your family, your kids. You know, just like what are you leaving?
Impacts over everything.
Yes, that's wealth. That's the.
It'd be like COE. Nah,
I know, right?
IOE.
IOE. Let me stop.
COE is content over everything.
Yeah. I'm over here like COE. Okay. Don't mind me. Yeah, I'm going on a tangent.
I know it's early.
I know.
All right, you ready to jump into it?
Yes.
So we touched a little bit about like your backstory with growing up in the business, like because your mom had a salon. What was that like for you? Like when you think about you being now your beauty business bestie, like you are here to help guide women that are wanting to get into the beauty industry. It started with your parents, like, but what helped you to get there? What was like that point?
Oh boy. So it's like so many different levels to it. Well, first off, my parents they're not from this country. They came from Haiti, so they're immigrants. And just having that coming here they came with nothing. They came with literally a suitcase, right? And they built something out of nothing. Out of like, they didn't have no experience. They didn't have no, old money. It was literally from the bottom. So that was like the first thing where it's like, for me, if my parents could do that, they sacrificed so much. They left their families behind. They came here on a, boat. Like, honestly, they came on a plane. I'm not even going to do my parents. I ain't going to do my people like that.
Okay.
They came here on a plane.
You're not even going to hear this.
She was like, I am not a boat. Listen, my mom, she going to hear this. She was like, I am not a boat person. I came on a plane. Bougie. Anyway, they came here and built something from nothing and literally made a life. Like, my mom, that's what she did. And she bought a house and she did all the
perseverance.
Things. And it was like, yo, if my mom could do that, I can do that. Like, there's no reason why I can't do that plus more.
You have more resources.
Exactly. I have more resources. Exactly. Just even being born here in America, is a blessing. Whether we want, we have our things when it comes to this country, but
I feel you.
It's definitely
it's deeper than that.
Exactly,
it's deeper than that.
It's a step up.
Yeah, my grandmother was an immigrant as well, so like, she was the first person to come here and really plant roots for us. And after she planted roots, she left and she went back to Jamaica. But
look, my dad,
she had a plan.
Yeah, he's trying to go back. He's still trying to go back. He, like you said, they have a plan. He has land over there. He has stuff over there. Yeah. But it's almost like it's in my blood to do this. Like this isn't something I'm trying to. It's like I bleed it. So when you say what made me like just realizing that I'm blessed to even be here, and then it's in me. So it's like, okay, let me see what I could do with this salon, and then expand, and then grow it and water it and just let it flourish.
Let's fill them in. Tell them about your business, who you are, your brands, your services.
So it's twofold. Beauty by Merlzz is my nail business. So I offer fully customized press-on nails, and there's a whole thing that comes with that. You can go on my website, www.beautybymerlzz.com, and check that out. My Instagram, Beauty by Merlzz. I do fully customized press-on nails. I have body scrubs, cuticle oil, and I'm just adding on wine glasses as well. Because I'm big on I'm a wino. I call it a wino. Yeah. So it's like decompression style. I'm gonna drink my wine. So I added that to the inventory as well. And they have cute little sayings like wife, mom, boss. It's wine time. Different stuff like that. I also do pop-up shops as well. So that's how I get out there in front of people and market. And the Beauty Biz Bestee is the second part. And I actually just launched this last month.
Okay.
And I literally it's super new. It's in like infant stages. But I help beauty professionals managing the back end of their businesses, and mentoring them through just navigating these entrepreneurship streets.
Now, when you say beauty, what are you specifically talking about for those that may not know?
Ooh, all things beauty. So if you have to get a license for it, that's what I'm talking about. Cosmetologists, hairstylists, braiders, nail techs, estheticians, permanent makeup.
Okay.
All of the things that encompass the beauty service industry.
Okay.
Thank you for asking that, because I noticed a lot of people like, oh, beauty, what is that? Everything you got to get a license for to practice. That's me.
So if you are practicing in any of those fields that you just named, because we're going to list them below, you should have a license.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness.
Can we talk about the license?
Please get your license. The license is what solidifies your business, right? That's the first step. First off, you need a license to practice legally. But you also want to be licensed to CYA is what I call it. And excuse my French, but cover your ass.
Okay.
If you don't have a license, you can't get insurance.
Right.
So that if you do, God forbid, mess up somebody's face doing a facial, or if they have allergic reaction.
Things happen all the time.
All the time.
Like, there's no industry that is like proof. Like, there's no industry where there is nothing that will happen, that could happen. Now, we're not saying that's something that's going to happen, but things happen. And that's why there's business insurance.
Exactly. And you need your license to do that. Okay. You need to cover yourself. And then we get into the whole business side, right? The business accounts, the taxes, the money. You want to operate and be in these business streets, because I always tell people there's no such thing. We say small business. I'm a small business. Business is business. Yeah. We all follow the same rules, the same tax laws.
Small business,
exactly.
Same bottom line.
Whether you're working wherever you starting at from home or your Walmart, the same rules apply. Yeah. You have to operate and conduct yourself as a business, whether it's small or big.
Are you a mom?
I am. I am.
With a smile.
I know.
How do you manage? Girl.
Okay. One main thing, time block. I time block everything.
Important. Yeah, me too.
Even date night, spending time with I'm married to, spending time with my husband.
Okay.
If it ain't on the calendar, it's not getting done.
It'd be like, I will forget.
And I'll be like, wait, what? Oh, you said, why would I say it? I didn't put it on the calendar. I may have said some things, but if I haven't put it on my calendar, I time block. Block things out. Block time with your kids too. Yeah, it sounds yes, I block time and spend time with my kids, because if it's on the calendar, it's not getting done. And I have to know, okay, if I'm working on this, I'm doing this, I'm picking up, I'm, all the things.
We get caught in like being a mom first, being a business owner, an entrepreneur, being like the person that's like, it's your responsibility to make sure that things are getting done, right? We have to balance so much. in that I'm gonna take my kids to the park tomorrow. I'm gonna take my kids to the park tomorrow. I'm gonna take my kids to the park tomorrow.
And
they don't never end up at the park.
Yep. And they'll tell you, Mommy, you
and they
said.
will tell you. So like even for myself, every weekend we go to the park. I don't care what park it is. I don't care if it's for 30 minutes.
Yep.
We'll block it in there. But that was something that I learned at Full Sail as well. It's like you got to block out everything, because until you know how you're spending your time, you can't get better at managing it.
Same. And you literally, when I say it right, like I have 3 or 4. I have a journal, I have a calendar, I have my phone, and it's giving me notifications. Like you said, every Friday after school, we go straight to the park when I pick them up. Like I pick them up and we go straight there.
I like that.
And it's just because it's on the way. It's on the way home, so I got to pass the park anyway. Why not? And they're like, well, Mommy, why are we? And if it's raining, like today is gonna be one of those days.
Yeah,
it's raining.
Gonna be one of those days.
So it's like we'll do outside play or figure out something in the house to do.
Yeah.
But I gotta keep them active, girl. They'll tear my house up.
Ma'am, how old are they?
7. My middle one just turned 5, and 2.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
My daughter's about to be 3, and then my oldest is. Man. Okay. 15. 13. 9.
Oh, you wait a little bit for your baby. She came a little later. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have C-sections too. You know, you can't.
Oh, yeah, no.
You can't just be getting cut back to back.
Yeah.
Man, I was looking at a Come on, I mean we're moms. Come on, we're talking about all things. I was looking at a Facebook chat, and they were talking about C-sections, and they were like, a girl was like, I've had my 4th C-section. I want to try for one more. Any suggestions? And I'm like, the doctor told me no.
Yeah, it's like,
what suggestions you want? But then I looked in the comments, and surprisingly, there are thousands of women that have had 5, 6, 7 C-sections.
Really?
And I'm just like,
I thought they don't
girl,
top you.
Girl, I guess if the baby's in it, they have to get the baby out.
Yeah.
But more power to y'all.
Yeah, that's tight.
Cause I be thinking about it, but I don't want to do it again because it hurts.
Yeah. So I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't have any C-section.
No.
I was so scared. Like when I had my first one, I did get the epidural, and I was pushing for hours, and she was like, you know, if you don't get her out, we're gonna have to go in there and get her. I was like, no. And
you did it.
I did, but it was I was like scared. I was like, no, I'm pushing her out. And listen, when they said, I don't know, tore up. That one,
I've heard.
It was a lot.
I've heard.
So, I mean, but my next 2, I did more research, and I was just like, okay, how can I prevent that? And now I have a C-section. So I did all the things, and I had, complicated pregnancies as well. But I gave birth to them natural, no epidural.
Shout out to you.
But that second one was not, I did not want the epidural. I went in there wanting the epidural, but she was on the way out.
Like that.
I literally delivered her in they broke my water, and then she came out less than an hour. Damn. So there was no time. There was no time. They were like, yeah, she's coming. I always
wondered about that.
Girl.
Man, I always wondered about they always got to take the baby out early.
No.
I'd be wanting
she was like, no. And then when it was, by the time I got there, 8 centimeters, they were like, girl. And I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Man, we started talking about childbirth.
I know.
But you know what? We here for it because we have not had no conversation on that. But I got to get somebody. I think we might have something coming where we're going to be talking about birth experiences and
that's
doulas
needed.
And stuff like that,
especially for us Black women. We need to have those
really
conversations.
Important. It is, and that's why I wanted to touch on it a little bit because I feel like it's awareness, talking about these different topics, because then we're gonna dive into it more.
That's stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. All right, so now let's talk about beauty business.
Oof.
We talked a little bit about licensing.
Yeah.
Obviously, that is really important. But let's talk about, the ever-changing beauty industry. Because all industries are ever-evolving, but beauty, I feel like, is, so fast.
It is.
Because you have to keep up with the trends. But you got to keep ahead of the trends, right? So you're studying, what's coming out, what's going to be available in the next couple of years. But for you, what does that look like?
Going to shows, there's... Premiere Orlando, and I think they have it at different locations as well.
I heard about that one.
Yeah, so Premiere Orlando, going to expos, you gotta be out there.
Yeah.
And that's where you're gonna get the first, because they're talking about advancing technology, new techniques, all that stuff there. And then of course you have social media, but I think at that point it's kind of what's trending. Yeah. But if you want to be ahead of the curve, I would say the expos and the beauty shows and you got like, I know we be behind the chair and like clients, but y'all you gotta take time.
That should be in your block. Like, you should have times where you're educating yourself. Like, on everything, whatever it is that you aspire for, you should be educating yourself on it.
All the things, reading up on articles, whoever you follow, like Tammy Taylor's. I know I specialize in nails, so I know Tammy Taylor is one that I follow on Instagram. There's a few different, like, you know, nail people that I follow that I'm just like trying to keep up with, see what they talking about, what's going on. So there's that.
You ever feel like with social media, there's like a keeping up with the Joneses when it comes to like other business owners that are in your field? Like,
so much.
Okay, so for me, I'm always doing like a flush of my social media. So like who I follow go up and down based on how I'm feeling. So like sometimes there'll be women that I'll follow and I'll be like super inspired, but then once the inspiration has passed, then it's kind of like, oh, they're doing this, I should be doing. Or they doing, you know, and then you feel like, and then I'm like, okay, no, now I need to, now I got you, we locked in, but I don't need to necessarily see your content all the time because it makes me feel like, you ever feel like that?
Absolutely. And especially with, I hate to bring up the mom thing again, but the mom side was wild. I had to get up off of that. So I started to flush that out and I went beauty side. But even with the beauty side, like you said, it's like, okay, you get to a point where you find somebody, they're like, you like what they're talking about. Okay, I feel this. And then now you're trying to keep up with them. That's where it's kind of like what I say is unhealthy. And it's like, okay, now it's like I need to either unfollow or still follow, but block the content that you can see. But that happens to me all the time, especially before I launched like my coaching or the Beauty Biz Bestee. I was following too many like already established, you know, there's so many Instagram gurus out there.
So many, yeah.
And you have to also learn how to flush those people out because some of those people out here just doing whatever.
Yeah, it's just posts. It's content.
It's like you have to see where the fruit is coming from, like what the roots of the tree is producing.
Okay.
And I'm about to it's like switching gears, but it's true, like people say a lot of things that, you know, what you're supposed to do, but what are they doing?
Yeah,
you want to make sure that these people are doing what they're saying they're doing, and not just telling you what to do, what they heard from a book or whatever, which is also good quality stuff as well if it's from a book. But it's like, be mindful, be very mindful who
it's a difference between regurgitating the information that you've heard or you've read, and some people are really good at that. Like, and that's what they do say is like a lot of the content creation that you see, they say read a book and then take what you read in a book and talk about it, because someone's not going to read that book, and now you're educating that person on what you read. Now that I get it,
and I get,
but don't just give me information if it's information that you're not actually practicing in real life. And that's why, like, when people reach out to me and they want to work, and we're talking about business consultations and whether it's branding and marketing, or we're on the flip side and we're talking about money and we're talking about credit, personal and business, my number one thing is authenticity. So it's like, I feel like, now this is just me, some of y'all might come for me, but this is just me. But at the end of the day, if you're coming to me to work with me to help you launch your business, I should be okay showing you what I have made in my business. Why would you want to learn from me if I'm not making money in my business? Because then we're just learning together. Like, so I'm not going to teach you about business credit if my business credit is jacked up. So when you work with me, I'm going to show you, this is my business credit score.
Said her credit's A1, y'all.
But like, I'm seeing all these people going down and I'm like, just do a little bit more homework. It's really important. And I just think that, you know, transparency is important. So being able to share your testimonies, that's how you can weed out the people who really do this, who are really in it to educate, mentor you, from the people who just want to make a quick buck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's literally, and it's so when you just said something, I just thought of like imposter syndrome, and I know a lot of people talk about that, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know if I should. I was going through that a lot before I launched, because I was like, so many people are, you know, doing the things and saying the things, and they're not doing, so how do I know if I'm going to be separated from the rest? But then I'm like, okay, I have to stop, because I lived this. Not only raised in this, I ran and, you know, operated my own salon, and I did all the things. So when I talk to people, I'm telling them things I've actually done.
And that's why we have her here today. That's why she's here pouring into y'all about the beauty industry, because she's done this. She's been raised in this. And at the end of the day, girl, you to go. Like, come on, let's talk about it.
All right, so let's talk about it.
there's different levels to it, right? So you have your mentorship program that you just launched. Mm-hmm. You have the experience that you have from running an actual brick and mortar business. But now you've been able to find a way to now make another line of income within your business by generating a product. Your product is your press-on nails, which you do yourself.
Handmade.
So that's handmade, right? Yep. So let's talk about your product and what it was for you in transitioning into actually having a physical product.
So it's funny because a lot of people say, why press on nails? And I've been told about this like before when I had my shop. They're like, you should do it. I just didn't have the time. So real quick, I don't know if that's in there, but real quick history. I lost my shop because a tow truck ran in the building.
Dang, that's what happened.
That's what happened.
I saw the videos, but I didn't know
a tow truck ran in. So it wasn't because, I owe people money, the IRS, nobody came and took my business. I physically lost the building. And at the time when we did sign the lease and stuff, that was before COVID. So when everything happened, it was after COVID, the prices were just crazy, double, triple. It was hard to try to find another place. So that's number one. So I went through all the things. I was like, okay, so do I start another business? Do I stay in business? Do I work for somebody else? And I was like, okay, what can I do now that will make me continue to make me money? One was do nails and the other one was create a product. So I was like, okay, what product can I create? Mm-hmm. Press on nails. It was just like a no-brainer. It made sense. And then I also just took the tools I already had. So it's not like I'm investing into a whole nother thing. Like I already had all the things I needed. Mm-hmm. It was just like, oh, okay, I have everything I need. Let's make this happen. Like I literally was like, either give up, sell all this stuff, and go work for somebody else or keep going. And I just decided to keep going. And I was like, I'm just gonna make this do what it do. So started with press on nails. The main things I had to order was just like the boxes and stuff to put them in packaging, branding, marketing, packaging. But other than that, I had shipping. Yes.
So you do shipping?
I do. I ship nationwide.
Okay.
So I can ship it to you anywhere in the United States.
Okay. You do custom designs?
I do. So if you send me a picture, I can more than likely recreate that. And with the sizing, so I know a lot of people say, what about the sizing? I have sets that I pre-make that they come with all the tips in the kit. So that's 24 tips. Mm-hmm. But I also have the sizing kits. And I always tell people, get the sizing kit. I need to make it mandatory and just, anyway. We'll get the sizing. Yeah, exactly. I was like, let me slow down. When you get an order sizing kit, I ship that to you first. And then you can literally size your fingernails to each finger. You write in the numbers, and then you just send me a picture of that.
Oh, that's easy.
And then that's what, and then that's how I place the order. You place the order, and then I ship it to you.
Oh, that's perfect. That's easy. Yeah. Okay, so I got some do's and don'ts of press-on nails.
Let's get into it.
Because I feel like, okay, so I'll be transparent because I feel like some people could relate to my story. Uh-huh. Because we can all relate to somebody's story. So I know when I first started managing this one girl, to be unnamed, she would use a lot of the press on nails. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I never thought about those, right?
Yeah.
Then I started noticing more and more women that I was meeting at events was saying that they use press on nails too.
Yep.
But then I'm like, but when I put my press on nails, they always fall off in an hour.
Girl.
So what am I doing wrong?
It's so levels.
Okay, I know it's levels to it, but we're going to talk about the levels. And then we're going to talk about what some people's out here doing.
Yeah.
So one of the girls was like, oh, well, I be using super glue to keep my nails on.
Oh my gosh.
Because they last longer. And I said, girl, you wild.
I've seen that.
Do is a don't.
I literally get goosebumps. Okay. Do not. Let's start with the do nots. the don'ts. Don't use super glue.
Okay, we're not doing
Please
that.
Don't. Stop that. There are actual super glue and nail glue is two different things.
I thought so.
Yeah, if it wasn't, they would be called the same thing. People think, oh, it's just marketing. No, it's not the same chemical components, guys. Super glue will tear your nails up. And then when your nails are tore up, you won't be able to use them to put the press-on nails on. So dang. I'm super about nail health, number one.
Yeah.
Don't use super glue. There is, a lot of people swear by the Kiss nail glue. I personally use one that you could find on my Amazon storefront, but it's Marcat. I always
So go to her storefront.
Yeah, go to my Amazon storefront, and that's the glue that comes in my kits.
Okay.
And I also use that as a nail tech as well, because you know when you're gluing on the tips, that's the nail glue I use.
But I'm guessing it's in the application, right? That's what I've been doing.
There
wrong.
you go. That was the next thing.
I be rushing. I be like, okay, glue.
There are steps to the application. Now, what pro tip? Before you even try to glue anything on, push the cuticles back. Because any nail enhancement does not like like the oils. Your body naturally produces oils, and your cuticles produce that oil as well. So when you go to do any nail enhancement, like when you go to nail salon, they start like filing that's a whole nother subject too.
Yeah.
There is prep when it comes to applying your nails, but for the sake of talking about press-on nails, push your cuticles back. Give your nails some space to shine and be nice and plenty and, you know, thrive for the press-on nails. So push your cuticles back, dehydrate your nails. And I know it sounds scary. People are like, I don't want to damage my natural nail. Use a buffer. Buff off the shine of your natural nail. When I say dehydrate, you want to remove the shine.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're dehydrating. Taking off the shine of your natural nail and then wipe it with alcohol wipe. Those are like 3 tips. Like that's like it. That's the application method.
So I do none of those, and that's why they just be falling off.
Like my nails, and I be at an event,
and they be like, "Oriana, your nail," and I'd be like, "See, this is why I do acrylic." But now that I know, I will. And
I have a whole video. I have an application video. I have a removal video.
Okay.
Also, don't rip the nails off.
You got to do the whole process. Like you got to.
Don't take a card.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, she said, no, that's the process. Don't take a card and pry it between. Stop it. Stop, y'all. We're damaging our natural nails. And then when you go to use it again, you wonder why they don't last. Because the ridges, it's all damaged.
Okay, you jump. So that was my next one for do's and don'ts.
Yes. Fact or
fiction. Can you reuse your press-on nails?
Yes, you can. Cool. Up to 2 times. I always tell people up to 2 times.
And then after that.
And then after some people go more. And I mean, I get you trying to maximize on your investments. I feel you. But I wouldn't suggest it just because different times you wear your nails, bacteria does grow, right? Yeah, and I know especially when applying, you want to make sure you don't get air bubbles too, because that's going to trap moisture, and moisture leads to mold. And a lot of people think fungus infection. It's mold. It's mold.
Yeah.
When you get the little greenies, it's not an infection. It's not something you need to go to the doctor for. It's mold. You can more than likely buff that off with the buffer or a nail file. And it's surface. Like your nails have different layers. So unless it's like,
you're giving us the whole spill. Okay, we're gonna have to say some of that.
I have to slow down.
Okay, that's gonna have to be some Patreon content. You're gonna have to pay for that.
I know, right?
Okay.
I'm doing too much.
Well, dang, those are some really solid tips, especially when it comes to press-on nails.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pick your brain too much. We're gonna let them follow up with you on that.
Find me on Instagram, y'all. Beauty by Merlzz.
Okay.
Yes, at Beauty by Merlzz.
And just bringing it all full circle, reflecting on your journey, what type of advice would you have for an aspiring entrepreneur, specifically one wanting to get into the beauty industry?
First off, don't give up. I know it sounds cliche, but don't stop. Like, it's baby steps, and you're gonna have to do things that make you uncomfortable a lot more than not.
Yeah.
We have this idea in our head of what we think it should look like, especially in the beauty industry, you know, being an independent contractor. I'm gonna have my own business and have my own. Girl, slow down and just build brick by brick. You might have to work under somebody else for a while. You might have to, you know, do things that you didn't imagine because, you know, you're independent. You're a boss. Yes, you are. And bosses still have to go through things to get to where they get to. Nobody just starts off out the gate, you know, with this grand successful salon and business. So yeah, just take your time, build brick by brick, do what you need to do, and focus on your money too. Make sure we're not numbers. Know your numbers. That's like the number one biggest thing of what we suffer or go through in the beauty industry, because we're passionate about what we do. We love what we do. And we charge people for what we do, but sometimes we don't charge our worth, or we don't charge enough. Yeah. So that's a whole nother topic.
Ma'am, honestly, but that's an important topic, because what I tell people is always charge your worth And the people that see the value in your service, you know, they'll pay that number. Yep. Now, you want to make sure that you're providing the value behind your number, right? Yep, like, you can't go out the gate charging thousands of dollars if you don't have any experience.
Yep.
But if you have the experience and you have the network and you have the proof to back and justify that price, charge it.
Absolutely.
And maybe you only get 3 clients a year, but maybe that's all you need. Exactly. You gotta know you have to know your numbers. So like that's a big game changer. Yeah. Because that's the difference between 20 clients a week and 10.
I tell people all the time.
Like, why you need to have 20 clients a week? Maybe you have 10 and 10 good, solid
It's the price. Ones. We have to know our number. You have to know how much everything costs to run your business and how much money you have to pay yourself. Yeah. You have to, as somebody say, oh, we pay ourselves. Absolutely.
Yes, you're supposed to.
You pay yourself. Like, you're not
however
working
you
for
want.
free.
I mean, you could pay yourself. Yeah. You could pay yourself daily. You pay yourself weekly.
Yes.
I don't care how you pay yourself. Just get into a habit of doing it.
Absolutely.
Now, you don't want to always pay yourself every day, but do what you got to do.
You have to give yourself. You have to, because what is the point of the business if not to at some point be doing it full time and make money from it?
When you build out your budget, you bake yourself into that budget.
Exactly.
Gotta talk about it. Gotta talk about it. It's so important.
Yes.
So now looking back, what is something that you might have done differently?
Ooh. I would have done a whole lot more education on the business side.
Okay.
So I, did all the things, got the license but I would have read more books and I would have educated myself on like what I needed to do to build a successful business, like actually grow and scale this thing. Yeah. So I did a lot of that after I lost my shop, that's a whole nother story and testimony that I'm not going to get into right now. But looking back, I would have educated myself more on the business side, which is why I created the Beauty Biz Bestee, because there's a huge disconnect between beauty professionals and business. Like, it's not the same. A lot of people think when you go to school, get a license, I should be good to work because I have these skills. No, you have to market it. You have to, like you said, have a budget, how much money you're going to spend and how,
plan.
You have to plan things out, and it's a business plan essentially at the end of the day is what you need. You need a business plan. If you're in business, you need a business plan. So I would have done a lot more on the back end of like managing like just my back end.
Yeah.
I just really jumped right in. Like I said, I quit cold turkey. I was like, I'm done. I got my license and I quit. But I didn't realize until I worked at the salon that I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot more that goes into this. Inventory tracking system, like what? So, and even then, I was still learning as I was growing.
That might have been all you needed. You might be set up for success. You might be. You are.
I am. Yeah, I was like, I am.
100%. Yeah, like you are.
Yeah.
And I just say that just thinking about the fact of like for myself, even though I started off in entrepreneurship at 17 and I was technically working for myself, but I didn't know I was a business owner. I was like, I worked for myself.
Work for yourself. Yeah.
I didn't know I was a business owner.
Yep.
But I was just doing it for so long. I was just like, it was just what I knew. And then when I went to school for business management, entrepreneurship, it seemed very grayscale for me because I wasn't like in the practice. I didn't have corporate background. So it was just all this knowledge I had up here, but I had no real life application.
Yep.
So then going into real life application, then I had to really sit back and be like, that's why they taught me that.
Like, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So then you did it the reverse.
Yep.
Because you did the whole real life.
Yeah.
You did all the experience, and then you dug in, you did the extra homework. And that sealed the deal.
Yeah, that really, like, when I lost my shop, that whole year, I read so many books. There's so many books. There's so many resources out there.
It pushed you into preparation for your next level.
Exactly. Even YouTube. Like, there's so much resource there. But just like I said, I think YouTube's more steady and secure on the, people with, like, the experience when they're talking about it. So definitely, like, find a few people out there. There's a lot of resources.
Homework.
Do your homework.
We just say do your homework.
Yeah, do your homework.
There's some amazing people out there doing some big things.
Yes.
There's more billionaires out there than we think.
Absolutely.
And it's more accomplishable than you think.
Absolutely. 100,000 is like, what?
No.
What? That's like, it gets to the point where that's like chump change. It's like, wait a minute.
When you see
when you start seeing the numbers, and it's like, okay, next.
Okay, so I was with one of my clients and we were talking about nonprofits, and we were doing our market research on the different nonprofits in the area that she would be technically like competing with, and we were looking at the grants that they be getting. And I was like, how they have all this money and they still be wanting us to give them money though?
That's why I look.
But I mean, no, I get it.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like it's so important that we pour into our community nonprofits.
Absolutely.
Like, because they really need the money.
Absolutely.
Like, so.
Because the money doesn't last, right? You use it, and then you got to keep using it for different things.
Yeah, you
don't
constantly.
Overhead is one whole thing.
I'm talking about they have so many people running these companies, and then the companies are overseeing all of these different buildings, and then the buildings that are housing the food in the pantry. Yep. To give people for free.
Yep. That takes a lot. It requires a lot of money, and it's for free.
But the thing is, like, if you don't know that, then maybe you're in the nonprofit business and you get a $5,000 grant, and you're like, oh, we good. Ooh. No, keep working harder, because there's companies out of here that are getting $1 billion grants.
Yep.
And your company could get that. Just keep doing the work.
Easily. I've one of my gurus that I follow, but she's legit. And she says you gotta apply to like 5 to 10 grants a month.
I do.
I was like, a month. Not and it's like what you gotta. Yeah,
we're gonna have Arnisha on here. She's gonna talk to us about how to do it. But I'm gonna tell you, okay, Arnisha, quick plug before we get out of here. Arnisha spoke at our wealthysis conference last year, and then she also spoke at our wealthysis brunch, and she just be giving so much game.
She's fantastic. I just met her, and I was like,
okay, look, I did a consultation with her, and what she sent me was, she was like, okay, Oriana, like, if you want to do it yourself, this is what it's gonna take, and then if you want to work with me, these are what the numbers are. So in the list that she gave me, basically it broke down how to prepare yourself for applying for grants. So really, it's like, you fill out this one form one time and you have all the information there, and then now as you're filling out the grant applications, you can just copy and paste it.
Yep.
And it's really it's gonna take you some time. You sit down a couple hours, put together that one, but then you know what I'm saying? Yep. But it's all in the work. It's like, are you gonna do the work?
Is it worth it? Like,
is it worth it?
You trying to get this grant or not? It's that simple.
Gotta do the work.
That's exactly what I did.
Man. It's been so good. Yeah, I'm excited. I feel good. I feel so happy. You know, like my spirit.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say my cup is like running over, because being in spaces like this, like what you're doing is phenomenal. First of all, let me give her flowers here, because you've been putting in. I see the work you've been putting in.
I appreciate that.
When I met her last year. Mind you, that I was still in the dark. I didn't know nothing, and she was one of the first people. And I was like, hold on, she's talking my language. So now seeing you, like, even the growth from a year, it's fantastic, amazing.
I appreciate that. That
And
means a lot.
what you're doing, man, you're changing the game for a lot of people.
We're gonna change the game.
We gonna do it together. But yes, you are.
To be honest, man, it's all about the impact. It's about helping other women that are wanting to taking your future into your own hands.
Absolutely.
Like, if you can make money for yourself, then you can do anything. Like, whatever it is that you want to do. If you can make your own money, then you can do anything. So like they say about taking the horse to the water.
Yeah, but you can't. It won't drink or something.
Yeah, so we're gonna bring you all the water. We're gonna bring the water right to your doorstep. We're gonna bring it to your TV, to your phone. It's
gonna be raining water. It's like, at that point, if you don't just open your mouth or stick your tongue out, you gotta do the work.
Launch that business. Invest in the resources. Connect with the people that really are passionate about what you're doing, that can help you to take your business to the next level. That's one of the most important things that I've learned over time, is that you really do have to start to put yourself in a room with other people that are doing better than you.
Absolutely.
It can be comfortable to be around a whole bunch of people that's in the same position as you.
It will be.
Because you be chilling. But you got to feel uncomfortable around people that's doing better than you to get you to that level if you want to do it.
Absolutely. And that, I know we're about to wrap up real quick. Real quick, because I hate to do this, but it all comes back to me losing my shop. But when I did lose my shop, it was about 2 months I was in the house. And I didn't just immediately start the customized personal nails. No. I was in a dark place for 2 months. Yeah. It was my husband that was like, babe, you need to kind of do something.
So he was
you
your
need
rock.
to go. Yeah. He was like, it's time. And I was like, don't tell me when it's time to stop grieving. I had to grieve the loss of my business, like as if it was a person, because I truly did lose something that I built from the ground up. So I was in a grieving place, and my husband was like, maybe you should, like, you know, reach out to people. And I was like, who? I'm in a mom group, Black Moms of Orlando. And I was like, who's in here that's a mom and that owns a business? I want to meet up for brunch.
That's dope.
That was my first step.
Yeah.
And that's when they were like, you know, I told my story. I cried, ugly cry. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I was getting it out there. Yeah. That's part of the grieving process as well. So I was getting it out there. I was telling my story. And they were like, you should do this. And they had so many resources and things out here in Orlando that I didn't even realize I could have access to, like different networking events and different things. So that's when I was like, oh, I can do this. And I started putting the pieces back together from that. So that's one of the things, like you said, put yourself in rooms, because even if you got to take the leap. You have to put yourself out there. I put myself out there, was like, look, I'm a mom that owns a business or did. Who want to link up?
You still own a business.
I know.
Your business is not going nowhere.
Now
the business is you. Like, at the end of the day, like, you are your business. And girl, you're going to have your shop back tenfold.
That's true, though.
Because you have to see it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like oftentimes we'll be walking in our shoes and we don't realize all of this that's behind us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this aura that surrounds us. Mm-hmm. And you did the work. You got the education. Man, it's coming.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't tear up on me.
That's why I was like, don't do this. Because I done got to the point where I could tell it without crying. Now, here you go.
Yeah. Man, it's your story.
It is, yeah.
It's your story.
It's a crazy one, but it's such an impactful one, because I learned so much in this process. Yeah. And God really did his big one. Like, when people say, oh, I was like, it's a blessing that I lost that shop, honestly. Because I was operating from a place of deficit. It wasn't it wasn't coming easy to me. And, you know, I had to fight for a lot of things, and it wasn't what
I feel like it'd be redirections.
Exactly.
And some redirections be stronger than others.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what
for real. Like,
no,
some redirections be stronger than others, and only like we really know, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
How the impact transcends like what is happening in the immediate moment.
Absolutely.
Like, everything that we're feeling is always temporary.
Yeah.
But if you look at like everything that you've been doing and how everything is coming together, as long as I feel like you know what your goals are, you know what I'm saying, and you actively are working towards it,
it's gonna,
you know, we take our time. And whether you know, I feel like grieving don't ever end, right? It's always gonna be like a part of you, but but at some point you're gonna create something that's so greater that it's gonna be like,
wow, I remember when. When. Yeah. That is so true.
It'd be like that.
Thank you.
You know, well, you know, y'all, look. I just want to thank all of you for tuning into this week's episode of Wealthy Sis Podcast. You know, I love this. I love what we do. We're going to continue to do this till the wheels fall off.
Absolutely.
We're going to keep these mics running. We have some amazing things in the works. We got a casting call coming up. We about to launch some new podcasts under the network. We got some new talk shows that are coming under the network. We have our expo that's on tour right now. Our next stop is July.
Yep.
Man, right around the corner.
I know.
We're going to be in New York, Brooklyn. Summer 2024. We're going to be in New York and Brooklyn. Sis Expo, 2-day expo. We got some amazing keynote speakers. Man, I will do them a dishonor if I try to like sum up it real quick. We're gonna get y'all all the information that you need as far as like who our speakers are, who our panelists are gonna be. Wealthy Sis Brunch is coming up. Tampa, next month. Wealthy Sis Brunch.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So now we're doing the brunch quarterly.
Oh,
so once a quarter, and we're traveling.
I missed the last one. I had clients. I wanted to be that one so bad.
So look, everybody. So one of the things I keep getting is a lot of the women that had wanted to come to the Wealthy Sis Brunch were in like the beauty and the wellness industry, and they were like, Saturdays we get all of our clients.
That's literally what happened. It was a Saturday, and I was like, I'm booked.
So I finally got some spots that will give us Sunday.
Okay, yes.
So we're doing a brunch on a Sunday now. So hopefully we can get some more women to come out that couldn't before because they had appointments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, quarterly traveling. So we have one coming up in Tampa. Then after Tampa, we're going to have a wealthysis brunch in New York. And then after the New York wealthysis brunch, we'll be in Miami. Because the next expo stop after New York is Miami. And then we in Detroit. But I'm giving it to y'all all at once. wealthysisnetwork.com. On our calendar, you can get the full spill. Yeah. Now, before we get out of here, in the words of Oprah, think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. And at the end of the day, we should all hold that near and dear to our heart, because I feel like fear is our worst enemy. And I feel like fear will stop us from being great. Fear will stop us in our tracks. I feel like if it's something that you want to do, just do it. Just try it. You know, be thorough. Do your research.
Please do research.
But just do it.
Do it. Yeah.
But do it. Like, don't be afraid to do something. If you want to produce content and you don't have a location to produce content, produce the content wherever. Yeah. Man, my girl Dreesy used to be dropping these 60-second little freestyles sitting on the curb by her mailbox.
Yep, I was gonna say, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep, she was, and she just dropped one recently. I was like, oh, where's she been?
And we know it's Dreesy. We know where she at.
Exactly.
And we know it's gonna be fire.
Exactly.
Dreesy, my girl. But like, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing is like, don't be afraid. Don't feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses. Just do it.
For sure.
And it's your girl Oriana, and we're signing out. Until next time, stay wealthy, y'all.